bring it through fast raps and critical state.
Hello again. Welcome back. This is the Colonel Hector Bravado of Breakup Gaming Society, continuing our retrospective series on the wonder and the glory that was Warhammer 40,000 Conquest, the living card game from Fantasy Flight. Today, for those of us who don't have a lot of history with the kind of universe it takes place in, today we're going to talk about our friends the Eldar. Quick point of reference, they're space elves. In the world of Warhammer 40,000, they used to be the masters of the universe until their excesses triggered the birth of the demon god slash goddess slash whatever, Slanesh, he, she who thirsts, the prince of pleasure. The psychic shockwave released by the birth of that god was so awful, it reached through the whole universe and killed the Eldar in their billions. In the world of Warhammer 40,000, there are a few of them here and there that hang about, psychically gifted, tragic, fleet, mobile, and tricky. That's one of the ways they get by. In the game Conquest, it was your job to command an army, such as the Eldar, and try to be the first to capture 3 planets with matching objectives on them, using a deck of cards. The deck of cards today is the Alaitoc Eldorath Starbane. We're going to talk a little bit about Eldorath, my build here, and their signature cards. Again, when you built a Warhammer 40,000 Conquest deck, it came with a group of signature cards. And we're going to talk a little bit about those and what it sort of means in terms of like the general Eldar theme, and in particular, what sort of made Eldorath go. Who's this cat? It says here he's a psyker. Also has the keyword Alaitoc, as you can see. Alaitoc was a craft world. That is one of the ways or places that you can find Eldar, if you look closely, is they live in giant planets that are in essential, machines. They've built them, and he's a psyker from the Alaitoc Craftworld tribe or clique or whatever it is. Now, it was the Eldar, and getting pantsed by an Eldar deck when, in your early building career, you're mostly focused on big slugfests and power decks and big attacks. The way Eric Lang and his co-designers gave you ways to not only thematically represent this tragic group, but also show you how many different ways there were to win. What does Eldorath Starbane do? It says, after this warlord commits to a planet, exhaust a target non-warlord unit at that planet. Doesn't sound like much, does it? That is, until you realize that once you're staging for battles at one of these planets, unit that's exhausted cannot attack and often can't use many of its abilities. It represents the Eldar's ability to not rely solely on brute force, but also on their, again, incredible psychic power, the ability to see a little bit into the future sometimes, take away your options, shave things here and there from your advantage until you suddenly find yourself in big trouble. Eldorath came with a signature group called Starbane's Council. These are 4 warriors, his bodyguard, if you would. And their specialty is, of course, attacking units and getting a bonus against units that are exhausted. So you come in with Eldorath and other effects, exhaust the other key combatants so they can't stand up. Then Starbane's Council materializes to cut them down. That's his signature ability, signature attachment card, mobility. Now, as far as warlord attachments go, mobility is kind of a vanilla one. However, it does give you your 3 shields up there in the upper left, and it gives the unit ability to shift around prior to a battle happening, so you're not exactly where that unit is going to exert its force. Eldorath's signature event, Foresight. After it commits to a planet, you can commit the warlord to a different planet. Again, doesn't sound like much until you realize you can use at the given time your command wheel, send Eldorath to one planet, exhaust someone, at which point they can't win a command struggle or shoot in the first round of a fight. And then, for, look at that cost, one resource, he can pop over to another planet and do it again. Here's his signature support, the Alaitoc Shrine. After an Eldar unit moves to a planet, exhaust the support to ready that unit. That doesn't sound like much either, but one of the things that happens in mid or late game is here in the HQ area. Sometimes by second or third planet, your warlord will have a coterie of units hanging out with him. The stipulation being that once they travel to a planet, only the warlord arrives ready for action, ready to attack. That Alaitoc Shrine lets you stand them up and be a little bit more nimble and not just caught unawares marching into the enemy's guns if there's a key planet you have to go to. That's a quick look at Starbane and his signature cards. During the next part 2, we're going to get into the actual deck itself. I'm going to lay it out all on the dissection table for you and talk about a few of the choices I made in the strategy of the build itself to sort of maximize the slippery and vexing quality of the Eldar in combat. All right, see you next time.